there was more coal produced per man in the industry in around 1978. We was named coal capital of the world than anywhere else. I mean, it was huge.
So a lot of people think of the eastern Kentucky Appalachian Mountains when they think of coal and old coal mining towns. But central and western Kentucky, they were very big coal towns too. And behind me is Central City, Kentucky, population 5,800. Central City has historically been called the Saudi Arabia of coal, and it was the epicenter of the western Kentucky coal fields. Those days are long gone now. The last coal mine closed years ago, setting this struggling community back even further. Now, this county hasn't suffered nearly as much as other coal mining areas, and certainly not as much as the eastern side of Kentucky, but they've suffered enough here. But we might have a good story to tell. All right, we are on the outskirts of Central City, Kentucky. And down that road, there was an old coal mine. It was called the Pride Mine. Well, it closed in 2024 because, well, coal mines are closing all over the country, right? Environmental regulations, a changing economy, technology. It was the last operating coal mine in all of Muhlenberg County. 200 people lost their jobs. And as you can imagine, a lot of people were not happy about that. Now, you might not know that this part of Kentucky was so popular for coal. Now, the east side of Kentucky, everybody knows about the east side of Kentucky, where the mountains are at. It's like Appalachian land. They were huge for coal over there. But the coal fields in the mountains up there, it's hard to get to the coal. So they had to get like big machines out. Where we are right now in western Kentucky, a lot of people didn't realize the coal here was a lot easier to get. You don't have to dig down as deep. You don't have to have big, dangerous coal mines. So western Kentucky actually produced more coal than the east side. Even though the east side of the state, everybody knows about the decline and the opioid abuse and the loss of jobs and Appalachian land kind of stuff. It was a way of life out there in the east. When they closed those coal mines down out there, it really impacted a lot of people. People got poor. Out here, they weren't really as impacted as much. But Central City has been hit pretty hard. They relied on coal for a long time. In fact, the whole city was set up as a company town. It was named after Central Coal and Iron Company. And so the coal company paid for a lot of the town's construction, and they kind of managed the workers' living arrangements. So when they shut the coal mine down, it had a really big impact on Central City. Not as bad as in the eastern mountains, but it still stings. A third of people here live in poverty, and there's signs of decline all over town. And just like in Appalachian land, there's been a big problem with the drug abuse, alcohol abuse here. When the coal mines shut down, these towns really suffer. We were driving around down the road and we came across the Suboxone clinic. That's where people get medically assisted treatment. That means supervised injections. They go in there, they're like, hey, and they just give them shots. They give them Narcan or whatever they give them. People here need it. This is the old high school here in town. But it is long gone, as you can see. All right, we're gonna take a quick break from this Kentucky video for a second. We're in Kentucky right now. We're always on the road. We're the most traveled YouTube channel in America. And as full-time travelers, earning cash back on purchases is essential. That's why Upside, the sponsor of this video, is the most important app we use. We use it all the time. Okay, so here's how it works. Download the Upside app and then search the area that you're in for groceries, gas, and dining with cashback offers. There's over 100,000 participating locations. You'll check Upside and realize there's often an offer right where you're already going. To get cash back, just open the Upside app, claim an offer, and pay with your card like normal, and get paid. That's it. You can transfer money straight to your bank account. Look, in the last week alone, we filled up on gas and got $15 cash back from gas. And you know how expensive gas is, so every little bit helps. Look, this place right here is giving us 5 cents off a gallon. Look at that, 5 cents off. Done. This Circle K down the road is 10 cents cash back per gallon. Check it out. Claim. And it's not just gas stations. Look, just last night we went to a restaurant on the coast and got 20% cash back on our bill. There's some grocery stores that are more than 10% back. If your grocery bill is $100, that's $10 cash back. It's a no-brainer. We check Upside every time we go anywhere now. We can save $100 or $200 on every trip. Upside's given back $1 billion to its users. To find out how much you could earn, download the free Upside app and use promo code NICK to get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas. That's an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first tank of gas using promo code NICK. And now back to the road trip.
Muhlenberg County was the first commercial coal mine in the state of Kentucky. Over 200 years of coal mining went on in Muhlenberg County. And just in my lifetime, the steam power generation that was built late 50s, in 50s and early 60s, supported, basically the coal mine supported those plants with fuel. And we had two industries. We had the coal industry and we had the steam power industry in Muhlenberg County. Well, then the coal industry took a major downturn and we lost the last remaining coal mine that operated, was shut down in March of 2024. So ended a history of over 200 years of coal mining in Muhlenberg County. In 1978, there was more coal produced in Muhlenberg County than any other place in the world.
And what happened to the community? What happened to the county when all that stuff shut down? I mean, typical, lots of jobs, poverty, drugs, all that stuff kind of took hold, right?
Well, yes, anytime you lose the jobs, lose the income, and it affects everything. It affects everything from local government to, the individuals and their livelihood. And, we relied on that. We didn't diversify as we should. There was some small industries that moved here during that time, but it pretty much left us in a bad place. And not only Muhlenberg County, but the surrounding region around us that supplied the steam power plant and also the coal industry. Supplies and services to those two industries was huge. And of course, when all that industry left us, then those service industries left us too. So it's a snowball effect. I said, both sides of the road here was surface mined in some areas, going down 431 toward Drakesboro.
So this was all coal mining?
Well, this probably wasn't. I mean, it could have been some underground mining done here. This is kind of swamp area.
Yeah.
But back up that way.
The other side, both sides.
Yeah.
But a lot of this, people don't realize how important this part of Kentucky was for coal.
That's right. And electric generation. It was this road we're fixing to cross up here was what's left of the haul road hauled the coal in off-road trucks all the way to the hopper TVA and dumped the coal in a hopper. So it was a well-oiled machine. But everything you can see in front of us from both sides has been surface mined.
So you guys, I mean, you dealt with it. Your family dealt with the setbacks. I mean, everybody did, but you have a first-hand account of what it's like to deal with the loss of an industry.
I do. I was out scratching around trying to make a living in the industry, going from job to job. I worked 4 different coal companies in a period of 10 years. When one would shut down, you just go to another coal company, work there, it shuts down, go to another. That was the downcline of it. Until finally I got to a point, I'm done with this, I'm open my own business, I'm going to be in control of whether I work or not, and do it that way. So
that what is it like to lose an industry from a first-hand perspective?
Well, it's devastating to the community. Like I said, people relied on those jobs and the service industries that supported all that industry. And but people had to diversify and do different things. Go to a different industry, or either leave here and go to another area that was still mining. We had a whole lot of people that did that. Some left here and went out west to the coal fields out west, and also some went back east. But since it's completely shut down, we have got some diversification now. We got some new industry coming into the county. Things are getting better. These are gas turbine generators. This section over here was built first with the cooling tires, and then they've added 3 more on over there on the other side to your right.
When did this all come in?
I think they come online in 24.
How many jobs were added with this?
These probably 30 people run this. You're looking at probably 300 people running a coal-fired plant.
But it's still, it's better than, 30's better than 0.
Yeah, we're glad to have it. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad that we've got this, but if we had the other go along with it, it would be great.
The good news, bad news is while we benefited greatly historically with the coal industry, when coal met its decline, a lot of the skill sets that those folks that were in that industry, they know how to weld, they know how to work on machines, they know how to work, they know how to do a lot of different things, which enabled us to leverage that into a real emphasis on manufacturing. And that's what we've seen since about 2021. We all can throw COVID out the window, but in 2021, what we saw with an emphasis on manufacturing is that we are just about to the same GDP, or gross domestic product, as we were in one of the last coal peaks, which would have happened in like 2012.
So we do have some positive things that are going on. We love to see some new industries coming in. We love to see new small businesses come in.
So there's a little bit of optimism around here in terms of maybe the worst days are behind us here in this county?
We think it is. It takes time. And I know everybody will have a complaint. Some will be positive, some will complain. But it takes time. Nothing happens overnight. Nothing great happens by only one person doing it. It takes all of us working together.
And there is a defense contractor that's partnered with a company that was already here, and they're going to build a new chemical factory to build TNT here in Muhlenberg County. That particular material hasn't been built in the United States since 1986. But due to the defense and national security, they're bringing it back home. They've been purchasing overseas all these years since they quit producing it here. And due to the changes in the world, they saw fit that we need to bring it back home, build it here. So Muhlenberg County was the place they decided to build it. See, I got to go on down.
So this current administration's bringing back a lot of jobs.
It's helping a bunch.
Yeah, so one of the reasons that we actually were in the running for a plant like that, and why we get it, why we expect it to grow over time and lots of investment come in, is because of the coal mining heritage. To be honest, people learned how to safely blow shit up. And they do a really good job of it, and that's why we got this.
And where are we headed now?
Out to the new plant that's been built.
Okay, we got another new plant.
This is called Commerce Drive, and this plant is going to be the B&E manufacturing facility to produce equipment that processes biomass.
So we've got a factory that's going to build the equipment to manufacture the
Biofuels.
the biofuels that are going to be taken from the Kentucky old debris,
Yeah, any kind of bioproducts like wood
Okay.
byproducts from sawmills, and even debris from storms could be processed, if by this equipment that's been built here.
All right. So biomass alternative fuel pellets that can help power factories and communities down the road.
That's exactly right.
Well, there goes the argument that, this area, boo coal. I mean, you guys you got all the fuels. You got alternative fuels and fossil fuels, and you're just doing all kinds of stuff here. Well, just this one place open alone is almost going to replace the Pride coal mine jobs that were lost.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we lost around 200 jobs, from that, counting the prep plant and the coal mine too. So yeah, that'll be a step in the right direction.
Good story to tell. A lot of people don't realize Kentucky is one of the biggest growing states for jobs. A lot of it's automobiles. A lot of people don't realize how many cars are built in Kentucky.
That's correct.
Why does Kentucky not get its props? A lot of people don't, everybody hears about good jobs in other states, but people don't realize, how come Kentucky doesn't get the...
We just haven't got the word out like we should. Kentucky is in a strategic location in this country. We're in the center. We've always produced electricity for other areas of the country, other things that, we did here. But now a lot of the manufacturing is coming back. Hopefully it'll come to Kentucky, so.
So we were very fortunate to the middle of 2025, basically this time last year, we were noted by Site Selection Magazine, which is a really credible trade publication for economic development, as the third highest growing per capita economic development organization in the country. And that makes us feel pretty good, because what they were especially noting was that we had about 553 new job announcements for 2025. That actually means about 5 or 6% of our literal workforce, which is really good growth for our community. That really means we're creating, in the process of creating, as they are coming online now, of over 700 jobs. Well, as of May 2026, we had 691 people as unemployed. So theoretically, we could put everybody to work.
That is great. What a turnaround. That's why I came. I mean, you know, former has-been towns that had industries that left typically don't turn around. But you guys are a success story.
Well, we are, and we benefit from great geography, to be honest. I mean, where we sit in the middle of the country, especially in the middle of the population centers. So here in this part of Kentucky, we can reach just about anywhere east of the Mississippi in a day.
What is your vision? How big can this get? How much recovery? How many industries? But what's the plan?
Well, we're building it as it comes. I mean, we're trying to reach out and develop more. They spin-off industries are, you know, the ones that's coming. Also, you know, at some point with what's coming out of the federal government and leadership now, who's to say that there won't be more coal-fired plants built and the industry coming back? We don't know.
So you're saying like the current administration, possibly coal can make a comeback here in this area?
I believe it can. I really do. And we're pushing for that any way we can. We're talking to legislators and trying to get this story to the president, basically. And hopefully he'll see this YouTube video. But just like this plant out here at TVA, all the infrastructure is here in place. All they'd have to do is build a new, clean coal-fired plant on this reservation. There's still deep coal in this county and surrounding counties that can fuel that plant. So if they're proposing building a new plant, we hope it's at Paradise Reservation.
So could we get back to a part that you'll have the same number of jobs that you lost at the beginning?
Well, yeah, we could. I mean, that's a possibility. It just depends on what happens. You know, that's what we hope for. Yeah.
And one of the ways that you meet the needs in a high growth environment is really focusing on the essence of who you are. You know, it's all about placemaking. It's about being the best Muhlenberg County that you are, given the history that we have. The history of music, the history of recreation, the water, the hunting, everything that makes Kentucky, Kentucky, you know, we're all of that, and we're all of that every single day. We're all Kentucky all the time. And people love that. We have people that come to this community from other places all the time. Some of them even stay and live here. But we have people coming from other places all the time to enjoy things like the Everly Brothers history, the history of John Prine's connection to this community and stuff like that. So as we're growing and meeting the growth needs of these new jobs and new economy that's developing in the area, we really, really have to be focused on not being like everybody else, but being the best us we can be.
How have you noticed this county change the mentality of the folks that now that they've made a transition to make the place better?
Well, I think more people's getting involved, and they're seeing that things are changing, and they're changing the attitude that there's hope coming in the future. You know, nothing happens overnight except shutting down a coal mine or shutting down a power plant. That happens overnight, but the building back takes time. And there's been a lot of people working all the time, trying to bring more industry in here, trying to get diversification jobs so that our residents will have a good income and can start doing things again. So.
Okay, so we're now the most traveled channel in America. We've seen so many places and continue to get into the rest of America. If you're looking to move and you want help with the real estate agent or need ideas on where you can move, email me or click the link in the description. My video call consulting program might be perfect for you. I also have a new ebook. It's a comprehensive guide on the best and sometimes worst parts of the country that you can move to. We update that book all the time as we travel. The details for the consulting program and the ebook are in the description below. If you want Mappy merch, like t-shirts, stickers, and mugs, there's a link to my store in the description, or just click store at the top of the channel. You should think about joining as a channel member. Click the link in the description, or click on membership at the top of the page, or just scan this QR code on your screen. As a member, you'll get to see all the excerpts, Mappy bloopers, and uncensored content. There's even stuff I did back in college on there. I also do cameos. I can send your birthday wishes or hellos or whatever you want in a video message straight to your inbox. The link to my Cameo page is in the description. And finally, we have another channel that you should subscribe to. It's called Interviews Across America, where I upload all the uncut, complete interviews with real Americans from all walks of life. The link for that channel is in the description too, or just search for Interviews Across America. That's it. Thanks for watching.